My fiance has been keeping a secret from me, and I found out the hard way. I, 26F, have been with my fiance, Alex, 27M, for 3 years. We've always been the couple everyone calls solid. We don't yell at each other, we make each other laugh, and we actually like spending time together. But about 2 months ago, something started to feel off. Alex became secretive with his phone. He'd lock it even when it was just sitting on the coffee table. His work hours got longer, and sometimes, when I'd walk into the room, he'd quickly minimize whatever was on his laptop. I told myself I was overthinking. I mean, he's never given me a reason not to trust him. But then small things started piling up. Like the Tuesday night he told me he had to work late, but when I called his office line to ask about dinner, no one picked up. Later, he came home smelling faintly of coffee and cinnamon, not exactly office smells. Or the Saturday morning, when he said he was going to the hardware store, but came back with no bags, and looking a little too pleased with himself. It was all subtle, but my gut started screaming at me, something's up. Last Friday was when things blew wide open. Alex left for work around 4:30 p.m., dressed way too nicely for a Friday. I told myself not to spiral, maybe he had a meeting. But by 6 p.m., my curiosity got the better of me. I decided to drive by his office on the way to grab dinner with a friend. His car wasn't there. I sat in my own car, gripping the steering wheel so hard my knuckles went white. I could either drive away and pretend I didn't see this, or I could find out the truth. I chose truth. After some questionable, but harmless, following, I spotted his car parked outside a little cafe I'd never seen before. The kind of cozy, fairy light-covered spot that feels way too romantic for a work meeting. I parked across the street, trying to look casual. Then I saw him walk inside, and my stomach dropped. He wasn't alone. Sitting at a corner table was a woman, young, pretty, dressed in this soft pink sweater. She smiled when she saw him. He smiled back. They hugged. I swear, my heart almost launched itself out of my chest. I could hear the blood rushing in my ears as I watched them talk. They leaned in close, laughing at something only they could hear. Then Alex reached into his bag and pulled out a small gift box. My hands started shaking. He slid it across the table. The woman gasped, covering her mouth in surprise. And then, she opened it. Inside was a delicate silver necklace, glinting under the cafe lights. That was the moment my brain went into overdrive. He's cheating. He's been cheating for months. This is why he's been acting so strange. I nearly flung my car door open to storm inside, but something stopped me. Maybe I was too scared of the answer. Maybe I just didn't want the public scene. So instead, I sat there, watching. They talked for another 10 minutes before Alex glanced at his watch and stood up. They hugged again. He left. I stayed in my car until my hands stopped shaking. Then I drove home and pretended nothing happened. That night, I barely slept. My mind kept replaying the scene, the smile, the gift, the way he looked at her. By morning, I'd worked myself into such a state that I was ready to end things. I rehearsed my speech in the shower. I know about her. You don't have to lie anymore. But before I could say anything, Alex told me he wanted to take me out for lunch. And guess where? The same cafe. I didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Was he seriously taking me to the scene of the crime? We got there around noon. I walked in, bracing myself for the smell of betrayal, but instead, the first thing I saw was her. The same woman from last night. She was sitting at the same table. Alex grinned, waving her over. My blood pressure spiked. This was it. He was going to introduce me to his mistress. But then she turned around fully, and my jaw nearly hit the floor. It was my sister. I blinked, she blinked, and then she started laughing, full-on laughing. Meanwhile, I stood there looking like I'd been hit by a bus. Alex explained. Turns out, the mystery woman wasn't a secret girlfriend. It was my sister helping him plan a surprise for my birthday. The necklace, custom made, with my birthstone and a tiny engraving of a quote I've loved since high school. He'd been hiding it because he didn't want to ruin the surprise. The late nights, he was meeting with the jeweler, picking designs, and even taking a jewelry-making workshop to see if he could add a personal touch. The hardware store trip. He'd actually gone to pick up the gift box after having it engraved. I felt a mix of relief, embarrassment, and about 50 shades of awkward. They'd kept it a secret because they knew I'd sniff it out if it wasn't airtight. My sister had even suggested meeting at a cafe I'd never been to, just in case I decided to drop by somewhere familiar. I apologized for my mental meltdown. My sister teased me for going full detective mode. Alex just looked smug, like he'd pulled off the biggest heist of all time. And honestly, he kind of had. The best part, when I finally opened the necklace on my birthday, I saw the engraving inside. To my favorite detective, nice try.